Good afternoon, and welcome to today's First AU Limited webcast as part of the Planet MicroCap Showcase. It is now my pleasure to turn the floor over to your host, Richard Revlins, Executive Director of First AU Limited. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction, and good afternoon to everyone on the East Coast. Good morning to everyone on the West Coast, and if you're listening from Australia, you probably should go back to bed because it's 2:30 in the morning. I'll just put up the first slide, which is the disclaimer slide that basically says that all the information that we're presenting here is based on public information, and none of it is new information that would require a separate ASX announcement. So just to introduce First AU, the company, we're an Australian listed company who recently started trading on the OTCQB board, in fact, yesterday. We're also going through the process of becoming DTC eligible, which will allow for electronic trading, and that should occur in the next sort of 6 to 4 weeks. So First AU, we have highly prospective gold projects in Victoria, and Victoria has been subject to somewhat of a gold rush of recent times, and advanced gold and base metals projects in Western Australia, particularly near Kalgoorlie, which is where most of Australia's largest gold mines are located. So in terms of our corporate overview, we're an exploration and development company. We have acquired a very prospective gold project in Victoria with high-grade resource potential. And we have a Gimlet Gold Project near Kalgoorlie, Western Australia. A very experienced board and highly qualified exploration team. And we have our first diamond drilling program underway in Victoria at the moment, which we hope we will complete shortly, with assay results probably expected in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And we have an ongoing program at Kalgoorlie at our Gimlet project, where we already have a JORC defined resource, which in American terms is equivalent to your NI 43-101 designation. So we've got a very focused approach, and our current state of capitalisation is, I think the current market cap is about below 10 million Australian, which is about 7.4 million US. We have about 1.6 million cash in the bank, and we've got some shortfall options that we're placing at the moment, which will bring in another $950,000. So for a small exploration company, we're in a very interesting stage of development with high quality projects and well funded. The next slide is the board of directors. That's a very old photo of me, I'm afraid. I can't even remember the last time I put on a jacket and tie, but that's the only photo I could find. And a highly qualified exploration team, which is what it's all about. Dr. Gavin England, who's our technical director and on the board, and Ian Nielsen, who's a very accomplished structural geologist, and he's leading our charge into the Victorian Goldfields. So to go into the projects in a little more detail, Victoria was really traditionally the start of the gold rush in Australia. It was akin to the California gold rush that happened some time later. And of late, there has been a massive renaissance in Victoria that has occurred largely due to Kirkland Lake and their Fosterville gold mine. And Fosterville is probably the world's richest, most successful gold mine at the moment. Last year, I think they mined something around 640,000 ounces of gold at an average grade of just under 34 grams per tonne, and they recovered close to 99% of that. So Kirkland Lake's market cap is about 10.3 billion, and a lot of that is due to the success of their Fosterville mine. So to put things into perspective, Victoria's first gold rush began in 1851 near Clunes, and then quickly spread to Ballarat and Castlemaine and Bendigo. From 1851 to 1896, about 61 million ounces of gold was mined, which at today's gold price would represent around $110 billion worth. So the old-timers mined the alluvial gold, and as the alluvial gold ran out, they were forced to move underground. And from there, various factors, which included the prevailing gold price, as well as World War I, and technical mining factors such as poor ventilation and water egress, virtually stopped mining in the region around the start of the 1900s. So Victoria as a mining location basically ground to a halt for many years, and there was a lack of modern exploration and proper understanding of the fundamental geology and mineralising events and structures. This all changed as a result of the discovery and success of Fosterville. So this has it's focused worldwide attention on the region and fueled Victoria's second gold rush. So now there are a very large number of international mining companies targeting Victoria as a highly sought after location. So now we have many explorers who have been rushing to Victoria hoping to find the next Fosterville, Bendigo or Stawell, which I think have combined resources of around 33 million ounces of gold. Like all hopeful companies, some will be successful and some will fall by the wayside, so having a robust geological strategy is essential, and being able to back that up with exploration and drilling, that's where the rubber really hits the road in respect to Victoria. I will get into First AU's geological model as we move through the presentation. However, we have a highly experienced geological team who are first movers in this region, pioneering new geological thinking and having identified what we have identified as the orocline gold model. We are targeting orogenic gold structures, and understanding the structure is essential. Past explorers had very little drilling in the area, and they failed to pick up the structural controls. With our geological team, we feel we have those controls well defined. And what I'd like to do now is just play a very short video which explains our geological model.
First AU would like to give a brief outline of our Victorian Gold Project. The project is located in East Gippsland, near the historic mining area of Swifts Creek. Our focus is on the Haunted Stream and Snowstorm projects. However, FAU's tenure is extensive, covering over 2,250 square kilometres. So, why are we there? New geological understanding shows us that the rocks here are the same as in the central Victorian goldfields. Around 380 million years ago, the Tasmanian plate crashed into the Australian plate. This crash folded the band of Ordovician rocks which contained the Haunted Stream goldfields and shifted the geology to the eastern Gippsland region. Prior to this collision, Haunted Stream was a long strike of the gold deposits of Bendigo, Stawell and Fosterville. Mineralisation in the central goldfields occurred before or during this major fold event. This is where the opportunity lies to find a major gold deposit in the same stratigraphy and structure. FAU has tenure over the Haunted Stream goldfields, which has an 8.5 kilometre strike length and contains over 130 historic workings along a major tectonic scale structure. This includes Ernestine, Hibernia, Rob Roy and Hans Lode. The mining at Haunted Stream produced over 25,000 ounces during the late 1800s and early 1900s. The historic mines were known to produce over an ounce dirt. The area has been poorly tested by previous explorers, and many of the workings remain open at depth. Our other current focus area is Snowstorm, which lies in the historic goldfields of Swifts Creek, which historically produced over 100,000 ounces. Snowstorm has very similar geology to Haunted Stream and contains historic plus-ounce production. The mineralisation occurs within shears and quartz veins hosted within the Ordovician sediments, and occurs as both free gold and sulfide lodes. FAU has identified key structures associated with this mineralisation. what's planned for the next 12 months in Victoria. FAU will continue lithostructural mapping of the haunted stream and snowstorm areas. We will also apply high-resolution geophysics at both regional and prospect scale, including IP and magnetics. Drilling at the major prospects at Haunted Stream, including at Ernestine, Rob Roy and Hans Lode. Drilling began at Snowstorm in February, with results expected in the first and second quarters of 2021.
Okay, I think that kind of provides a fairly good overview of why we're there and what we are looking for. And you'll have seen from the video the extensive amount of historical workings present in both our snowstorm and haunted stream projects, which have never been drilled by modern techniques, or if they have, very, very limited drilling. So we have diamond rigs on site at the moment. We're completing a 1,200 metre program, and we believe those results will be available sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how long it takes to get through the assay labs. Our tenement package there is very extensive, some 2,250 square kilometres, which in American speak is about 1,400 square miles. And we're located in East Gippsland, about 340 kilometres east of Melbourne. We have 2 granted exploration licences and 7 exploration licence applications and a prospecting application. So Victoria is somewhat of a different animal to some of the other states, and the process of granting exploration licences in Victoria is somewhat of a slower process than you'd expect in other places. But we believe all these exploration licenses will be granted, and we are already drilling on our granted tenements. So FAU's ownership is earning up to 80%, and the right to go to 100% at a decision to mine stage, so we can buy out the remaining 20% at independent valuation. Our flagship Haunted Stream project shows significant high-grade gold potential, and studying the historical workings and rock chip samplings, we've had rock chips up to 444 grams per tonne over a strike length of about 8.5 kilometres. The Victorian government, we've been working closely with the Geosciences of Victoria and proven our orocline model. We believe we have the same mineralising events and the same rocks as are situated in the Fosterville, Stawell and Bendigo regions, and that through the orocline movement, those rocks were transported to where we are now. Our geologists have been able to establish that there are 2 types of gold mineralisation: high-grade gold associated with mafic dikes and high-grade gold associated with shear zones. So at Haunted Stream, the gold is controlled by cross-cutting shear zones and chutes, bending parallel faults, folds and hinges and intrusions. So there's a lot of alteration in this area, and getting a handle on the structural controls is extremely important. So inside that 8.5 kilometre high-grade gold trend, our geologists have identified a shear-hosted gold system that is open along strike and open at depth, which is called the Hibernia trend. And if you can look at the diagrams below, it shows where we're finding these high-grade intersections. We're hoping that we can have our Haunted Stream EL granted shortly, and once that happens, we will immediately be drilling that tenement. Where we are drilling at the moment is Snowstorm, and that's in the Swifts Creek Goldfields region, a very historic, well-known region that produced over 100,000 ounces of gold in its day. And it's located about 15 kilometres north of Haunted Stream, so the same rocks, the same mineralising events, Ordovician aged rocks, structure and mining styles similar to Haunted Stream. Our rock chip samples yielded up to 112 grams per tonne and highlight a reef structure along the strike and down dip. So the work we're undertaking at the moment, apart from the drilling that's underway, we're also mapping, 3D modelling, and trying to properly understand the structures and controls here. Relogging of additional significant zones and mineralisations that were not previously assayed. So what we have here is a very, very exciting gold project that is drawing international attention. There are many companies who have recently come into the Victorian Goldfields. Apart from Kirkland Lake, you may have followed Fosterville South, which listed about a year ago at 20 cents a share. All its tenements are in this area near to Fosterville. Shares ran from 20 cents to $3.80 in June. I think they're sitting somewhere around $1.30 now. So that company's capitalised at about over 100 million. In the same region, we've got North Stall Minerals, Mandalay Resources, and many other companies that have come to this area. So our second project is called the Gimlet Gold Project, which is what we listed the company on. Gimlet sits 15 kilometres northwest of Kalgoorlie, and Kalgoorlie is Australia's most prolific gold region. So within 6 months of listing on the ASX, and we listed back in June 2018, First AU made the Gimlet Gold discovery with a drill intersection of 4 metres at 393 grams per tonne. Since that time, subsequent drilling and exploration programs have delineated a JORC resource, which is similar to the US NI 43101, inferred gold resource of about 69,000 ounces. This was calculated and announced in May 2019. We currently have a new resource study underway, which we anticipate will result in an upgrade to the current JORC position. So our Gimlet project, we have mining lease applications underway, and when granted, will give us the opportunity to perhaps enter into an early mining phase. And as I said previously, we are looking to upgrade our existing resource and hoping it will trend somewhere more towards 100,000 ounces, at which stage, in likelihood, it'll probably be mineable. We've got mining engineers looking at this at the moment, and we're working closely with them. So where we are situated is we're next door to another ASX company called Horizon Minerals, previously known as Intamin, and they were mining gold from their Teal pit, which sits adjacent to our Gimlet discovery, and I think they recovered something like 22,000 ounces from there over time and used that to expand their exploration in other areas. They're currently capped at around 68 million. This is not their only asset, but it created the fuel that allowed them to go and drill other areas and develop other projects as well. So I think I may have skipped a slide there. So our Gimlet Gold Project, the strike length is 450 metres. The average grade is around 3.5 grams per tonne. We have now identified multiple gold lodes, and the mineralisation is still open at depth. So we have a new structural study to identify new targets along strike. So the upside for our Gimlet Gold Project is still very, very strong. There are a number of producers in the area. There are a number of mills in the area. So the option of toll treating our ore at one of the nearby mills is a very strong one. It means we don't have to build our own plant, and we can just toll treat our ore to get into production. And so to our investment summary, our Victorian Gold Project is one of our main focuses, that and Gimlet. and our geologists were first movers in that area, and they were very quick to see the potential through that orocline model that they developed in conjunction with Geosciences of Victoria. And we know this is a traditional high-grade gold area with high-grade gold potential. Our drilling program, which began in February, will complete in the next week or so, and we expect assay results in the next 4 to 6 weeks. The labs in Victoria have been inundated. There's a lot of work going on. I know Fosterville South recently announced a new drilling program at their Golden Mountain project, and other projects are drilling as fast as they can. With Gimlet Gold, we've got our existing JORC-defined resource there, with gold mineralisation open at depth and new structural targets along strike. So the next focus is to develop the oxide transitional ore body for study on a potential open cut or underground mining. The third area, which I haven't spoken about because this is subject to a potential joint venture, is our East Pilbara project. It's a very topical area right now with development by Calidus, who are producing something like 90,000 ounces at an all-in sustaining cash cost of less than $1,000 US, I think somewhere around 970, and also the world-class hemi-gold discovery by De Grey Mining. So that East Pilbara area is quite a hot area. Given the size of the company and our structure, we thought it was probably wise for us to joint venture that and retain an interest so we can concentrate on the two major areas that we're pursuing. So our current market capitalisation, which is under $10 million US, strong board, experienced exploration team, and high-grade resources in Victoria, and potential producer from Gimlet in Western Australia. So that, in a nutshell, that's our story, and we thank you very much for your attendance and listening. And what I will do is I'll open this to questions. If anyone would like to ask any questions, I'll turn the floor over to you. Okay, well, there don't seem to be any questions so far, which means either I've done a really good job at introducing the company, or everyone's fallen asleep and there's nobody listening. So on that, thank you very much for your attendance, and I'm available for questions if you'd like to contact me offline. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This does conclude today's webcast. Thank you for your participation and have a wonderful day.